I feel like that's one of the major issues we have right now as a society is people aren't willing to just talk, and that's kind of a bland thing to say, but even talking about like childhood toys, like you're going to pick that, so that's going to be something aggro to talk about, or like something you want to hide. It's probably better for people just to get that off their chest, literally talk about it. And then, and that way we all know what each other's favorite childhood toys are. Maybe that's the key to unlocking our issues.
I'm going to every world leader and asking them what their favorite childhood toy is.
Exactly. It probably tells you a lot about a person. We could write a book about psychology. It's just called like childhood toy, and then you know exactly why that person turned out that way.
That does all the psychologists listening out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Just know you heard it here first.
Spitting knowledge right now. We should trademark it. Childhood toys.
But yeah, man, I hit recording right in that section you were just talking about why it's so important to talk. And so I thought that was a perfect little intro.
Nice.
I'm just gonna.
Everything before that was brilliant too, but we missed out on that.
Yeah. That's the behind scenes. I gotta have another camera rolling for that kind of stuff,
It's true. Yeah, exactly. I've already wasted all my brilliance before you hit record, so from here on out, it's gonna get a little sketchy.
I think you'll surprise yourself, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it's all about, right?
I'm gonna do a quick little intro. So, what's good, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Today, I have a very special guest, blast from the past. My first college roommate, Mr. Kyle Jones, is in the building. How you doing, Kyle?
Hey, I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. I'm really happy to be here. Really happy to see you healthy and happy and spitting your talent, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you for your time. I know you a busy dude. Just moved to a new state, working on your home and everything. So it's hard. It's and like we've had to reschedule a couple times because things come up in your industry as well. Opportunities.
We're both busy, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay busy, man. But
that's the same way. I feel you're painting me in a beautiful light, but I'm like, bro, I the only reason why I'm busy is because I'm trying to stay busy.
Yeah, no. then I feel you, man. I feel you. For those who are unfamiliar with the show, the format goes a little bit like we do some intro questions just to set the tone. Then I have an icebreaker spelling bee portion. It's just one word. Feel free to participate. Feel free to skip. It's all up to you. And then we get into the main portion of the interview where you choose a number between 1 and 34, and we kind of roll through the conversation that way. And we close everything up with a few concluding questions. Sound good to you, brother man?
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, you kind of answered this off camera, but tell the folks at home, how have you been? You've been doing well. You've been going through it. How you been, man?
Yeah. I have to say I'm incredibly grateful to be healthy right now. I think this is a really tough time to really bitch or moan about anything in life as long as I'm healthy, because it's just a crazy time, brother. But I was fortunate enough, like you said, to move, and did a lot of YouTubing on how to start from scratch on renovating a home. So now I know how to change toilets and wax rings and hang counters and cabinets and this and that. So I have to say I'm incredibly grateful that I've had the time to learn something new, and to to really kind of sit in this time and reevaluate what my goals are, where my happiness lies. I left a major city, probably what's LA, second largest city in the United States?
I think so. If not
I think second. New York's first. Yeah, so I left the number two. We're just talking one or two. I left the second largest city in the United States to and that was the start of my journey, I think, to go, I think some of my happiness lies in a little bit of a more rural area where it's easier to access nature and this and that, which I always knew was part of me. But I struggle daily, dude. I'm like, I try and keep the roller coaster to a minimum. So I try to stay kind of even keeled, and I try and figure out like what are some tools on certain days if I'm feeling one way or another. How can I kind of help right the ship? But every day I go back to the fact that I'm just so grateful to be able to wake up and see, my girlfriend and call my parents, and I'm not in a hospital. I'm not, battling COVID symptoms. There's a lot to bitch about, brother. but as long as I've got that, bro, we're good, man.
No doubt, man. Well, I'm glad you're on the on an up rather than a down at the moment. But I definitely.
Well, talk to me in an hour. I don't know. On the way out of this conversation, we could be on that way back down.
Yeah, man. I mean,
no, it's not.
Well, I understand that balance, man. My focus has kind of turned to that as well. I don't know if it's just getting older, whatever. I'm still young, but
we're still young. We got a long time.
Yeah, but the importance of balance has definitely creeped into my head a lot more. You talk about the up and down that you feel on a daily. For me, and like with this podcast, man, like I get anxious a lot when I haven't shot the episode with the person, especially if it's a stranger, and then I would consider that like one of my downs. But then as I'm shooting it, then I start feeling the energy. I start feeling like, the purpose behind it, and that's my up. And so that's, for me, with this podcast, that's the constant up and down, because I never know, what my guests are going to be like, especially if they're strangers. But then
it's just the anticipation kind of is what brings you anxiety or whatever.
Yeah. But folks out there, what's up?
Yeah. No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, you good, man. Go for it.
I feel that it's the same way even when I'm filming or heading into auditions or meetings or whatever it is. Like, I feel like, because if you're definitely releasing control, right? And that's where the anxiety probably comes from, because either you want to get to it, feel that creative flow, get in it, or you don't want to F it up. And so that's where I think, those two places, obviously, that's a huge place of anxiety, at least for me. I know when I'm entering something, that whether it's an audition, filming, meeting, whatever it is,
Yeah, no. Anything else? Are you good?
No. Well, I was just gonna say, it's always like, the journey is always the tools in which we are kind of like juking those anxious feelings out, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's what I've been like. Even when we were going to school, it was all about like sports psychology and this and that. When you start to feel that feeling coming up, where you're like, "Shit, man, I really want to get to this," or "I'm nervous about this for X, Y, and Z reasons." It's like, okay, how do I implement those tools to then go? I'm cool. I can just live in the moment. I don't have to feel anxious about this or that.
I gotcha. When the moment comes, it's like that anticipation and anxiousness does go away.
Because how nice would it be, right, if you felt the way you feel, that elation or whatever it is, you're high, like you were saying, while you're actually doing the podcast all the time, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, because that's what I'm kind of searching for. I'm like, well, it's almost a feeling of like your birthday. If anyone takes their birthday seriously or really loves that day, well, what's different about that day? Really nothing. We just chose, like, we were born that day, obviously. We should probably be celebrating our parents more than ourselves on that day. But why can't we feel like every day is our birthday, or every day is a Saturday if that happens to be your favorite day of the week? You know what I mean? Or like you with your creativity flowing in this podcast, like, every day, there's no low, only that, right?
No, that would get boring, I think. Or, if I didn't miss it, or if I didn't look forward to it, then I wouldn't work as hard, or
interesting.
Try to push as hard. Like that's what kind of crossed my mind. It's like, okay, if I felt the way I do doing the podcast every day or all the time, then yeah, I'd be content, But because there's that absence or that gap of in between interviews, or I give myself 3 days off in between like scheduling stuff. Anticipation builds, but then like that feeling feels so good of getting it done, and continuing my intention with it. I don't know, like this is a whole new thing for me, but it just feels so right, like and it's something I'm passionate about, something I feel like is was something that I always thought was kind of weird about myself, or I think maybe other people might have thought.
What do you mean? What's weird about yourself?
Oh, just like wanting to talk about these things like right off the bat with people. And we were just talking how like that's like the new form of small talk or whatever, but this is just something that
I see what you're saying. You thought that your need or want to just kind of dive in with people was strange in a way or something.
Or could come off as strange,
socially unacceptable or whatever,
just quirky or awkward, where like, oh, okay, that's what he's like.
I love it, bro. You gotta inform the world.
Yeah, man. I because I started listening to fucking podcasts at my new job, and I was like, wow, people are quirky, or like people like listening to these things. I'm like, I think I can try to do it. So here I am.
Hell yeah. You got the talent, man. I mean, you certainly got that. So it's nice when you see, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, when you see it all kind of link up, right? Your personality, your creativity, and then this platform. That's magic, I think.
I appreciate
I'm your number one fan, though. So.
I mean, you're the president of the fan club.
Yeah, exactly. I started it before you started the podcast. I was president of the fan club and followed 2008, Jan Ramirez.
Yeah, but I always appreciated that, man, and I know that's like goes both ways. I always support you. It's a lifelong thing at this point.
Day one. You always have, dude. Speaking of that, I was just in Long Beach a week ago. Lindsay had some work there, so we were there. And I walked around the theater, and it was wild. You've spent a lot of time there coming to see shows, obviously, because you've been so supportive. And during COVID, no one's allowed on or it was spring break or something, but there were signs everywhere like you're not allowed to be here unless you have a meeting. And it was wild to walk around the campus, not a person there. I was the only one on campus. It was freaky. It was like post-apocalyptic.
Dude, that was probably one of the freakiest things about quarantine, is everywhere you went, nobody was like, damn, like is it a zombie time type thing? It was just like
especially a city like your city where you're in, man. I mean, there's so much traffic. You're probably number 3 or 4 biggest city. You're not top 2, but you're probably 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yo, give me 1 second. I gotta close the door. I forgot to. 1 sec.
Sure. Your room looks good, dude. Your setup, your studio, I love that. All your artwork and stuff.
Yeah, man, that was because I wasn't good at like figuring out which pieces should be together on which wall. I was like, fuck it, let me just put them all on one wall.
Throw them all on one wall.
Make that the wallpaper, just like have all this big congregation of art pieces all together. So,
it's the easiest way to make a decision. Why choose one when you could just do it all?
I mean, I probably have like a room in my house where each wall is like a different theme of artwork or something. I don't know. I got
yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't have a home. I'd be spending too much time like setting it up perfectly.
I'm telling you, dude. Now being a new homeowner, you are looking at every corner, and you're like, well, I could do something there. I could do something here. Every wall you would get. I know you'd want to fill a place with art.
Yeah. For sure, man. Let's keep it rolling. I don't want to get held back too much, but we could just talk all day, so it doesn't even matter. My second question for you is, what would you like your descendants to know about you? Like reaching 5 generations down the road, they want to know about their great grandfather. What would you want them to know about you?
Man, that's a great question. Off the bat, I don't really know. I've never been a big fan of talking about myself, which is odd being an actor, but I'm not. So I would more so want to tell them about the time we're in right now, so that maybe they could compare themselves into that time, or holy shit, we've gone so far from then, or So I more think of just sort of like where I am in society, in the things that are going on in our lives, especially as we're getting older. I mean, this pandemic included, politics included, environment included, which are, I'm sure, themes that people have been dealing with for a long time. But yeah, I'd more speak to what the last 10, 15 years is like, what the last year of our life is like right now. Because when I speak about myself, I don't really feel like I have a lot to offer that's different than someone else. Like if I had a great grandchild that was like, who was Kyle Jones? I would go, Kyle Jones is just kind of like every other guy is walking down the street, just trying to make a buck and help people out and love people and just live happily while I have the time on this earth. That's all cool, and I could go into, I think I've got an okay work ethic. I think, I really love the environment, nature, and I love people. And however I can help those two things, I am on board. But that being said, I would say we live in a time where we need a lot of fucking help in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? Mental health, social inequality, economic inequality. I mean, the environment stuff, which I grew up with a father who was a conservationist, naturalist. I grew up in a forest, was surrounded by trees and nature. That stuff is, by the time my great grandkid is looking back, I'll tell them what a freaking the Amazon forest look like, because they won't know, or what an elephant looks like, or a rhino, or because they may not, they may just read it in a book, and I could say I at least got to go on an African safari to see one or whatever.
Like that's a humble brag from great grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. I went to Africa. Yeah. So that's my long-winded answer, man. I don't really. It's not really when I want to. If I were to ever want to pass on to another generation some knowledge, it wouldn't be, this is who I am, this is what I think, this is what I believe. It would be more like, this is what we're living through, and hopefully through these words you learn from that, or take a some sort of subject matter away, or something that you'd be interested in looking up or looking into, push you towards a certain way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. And honestly, the fact that you answered it the way you did and was like, you know what, I wouldn't talk about myself, but other than like with stuff that's going on, I think that says a lot about you already, You'd be like, okay, he was that kind of person. You feel me? And
he went to Africa. Okay.
Oh, man.
That's all he said. That guy's an asshole. He's just bragging about the places he's been.
Yeah, man, that's hilarious. Yeah, man. But, I mean, the whole idea of the question is, it's more that personality of what the personality connection.
You know someone.
Yeah, especially someone that had your blood, And I talked to this about with another guest, and it's interesting for me to think that all our ancestors were the same, like everybody, since the world population was so much smaller back then, we have to be kind of coming from the same people. And
totally, yeah,
the people in the future, same idea, like
they all came
from us. So yeah, there are descendants where their ancestors, and that's where I'm going with this thing. But
yeah, for sure. Do you, speaking of that real quick, one thing I wanted to say to you was, because your idea is incredible, so that someday, because obviously we didn't have the technology, so I can't go back to look at what my great grandmother would have said about this moment. So I think you're really onto something and super special, excuse me. But I thought a 60 Minutes special, I would say it's at least a year ago, if not 2 years ago, but they were working, I think it's going to be in a museum, but they were working on a sort of a VR concept where they would film people, ask them generic but specific enough questions to where the prompt could, if you were to ask them a question, somehow the person had an answer for that, and so you could sit down. I think this one in specific was a Holocaust survivor, but you could sit down in a VR. So like, let's say Jan's great grandchild wanted to sit down with you. They would sit down in a VR setting. You would be sitting there like I am now, or you are, or you'd be in the same room. And then I could ask you questions that would probably prompt close enough to an answer that you've already pre-recorded. I could say, Jan, what was 2020 like during the pandemic? Or what was your favorite memory with your your niece or nephew or whatever, and you have enough of those to where if the person's sitting there talking with you, you would actually be able to have that conversation. You should look it up. It's super interesting. And you're kind of touching on it a little bit.
No, that sounds crazy dope. I don't think, I have the resources to do something like that, but I do. I mean, you just gave me a great idea. Like, one thing I wanted this thing to grow into was for me to be able to reach out to like senior homes and senior centers, and just like for the people who don't have much or who to talk to about these things. I'll sit there with my VR camera and I'll just like have them I'll interview them that way, but anybody could sit down with this person in the future using a VR setup. So thanks for that idea. I gotta
and check this thing out too. I know it was on 60 Minutes, but exactly. Take it and run with it, dude. It's the future.
Yeah, it is the future. Did you have anything else to add before we jump into the next one?
I don't even know what we were talking about, so no.
Well, anyways, third question for you, boss, is how would you like to be honored? If I was gonna tell myself today I'm gonna honor Kyle Jones in some kind of way or act, what would that be?
On a selfish scale, like on a singular scale, not selfish, singular, I would want you to do something that you really love that you haven't done in a while. So for me, I'm more of an outdoorsy guy. My girlfriend is not, so I know for her it would not involve something outdoorsy. But for you, if you haven't done something in a while, if you're in the Bay Area, go freaking do a polar bear plunge in the Pacific Ocean, or go to Marin for like a 6.5 mile hike or whatever it is. So that'd be kind of a cool way just to go like, whatever, peace, Kyle. That was cool, or whatever, I would want you to enjoy something that you haven't done in a while. What would that be? Let me turn the question on you. What's something you haven't done in a while that would bring, like, and it could be simple. I haven't had ice cream in a while. So if I was like, I just want the biggest bowl of ice cream and watch a Marvel movie. It could be anything. Just something that you would enjoy those couple hours in honor of yours truly.
Okay. So what would I do to honor you, Kyle?
Yeah.
You know what? I'd probably try to get on the football field, like at a community college or something, and like throw around the ball and act like, we doing plays or something,
Yeah, we're running the Hail Mary round.
Dude, man,
try not to get hit by a car. Yeah, see, I love that. That's where my heart would lie if you were to do something like that. But then, it would probably be also, find some sort of nonprofit to support and just something, whether it's Sierra Club, maybe something local to Oakland or San Francisco that they're trying to redo the plumbing so there's not lead in the water, or or a beach cleanup situation, something like that, something that has a little bit of impact on the community. That'd be a pretty cool way to honor me.
That'd be dope. I would definitely be down to do that. But how do you know which nonprofits or charities are like legit? And versus it's hard, right? It's fucking hard, man.
No idea. Yeah, reputable. I feel like it's the internet is as much as it can be a pretty negative tool, it's also a very, very positive tool. So whenever I run into a situation like that where I'm like, oh, I heard this name, is this a legit organization, nonprofit, whatever, I just Google the shit out of them. And, just try and find as much information, reviews, this or that I can. But you raise a good point, man. You never know where that money's going or what it's doing. So start your own nonprofit and dedicate your life to honoring me by doing a nonprofit.
I got you. No, Kyle Jones Foundation, man. I'll be thinking about that if I ever did do a nonprofit that was meant to do something good, right? But if I know it's gonna take a lot of my time, but I also want to be that person that's like, I'm not taking any money from it. So I'm trying to figure out how I can like build that capital where like, okay, cool, I'll be working on this nonprofit, but I really want it to be like, yo, this is not anything I'm making 100%.
Money off of. Yeah. I mean, I'll let you know. I'm interviewing next week for a sort of like a Democrat-leaning think tank, Arizona kind of like conservatory, where it's kind of grooming people who are interested in nonprofit or politics. And it's a year-long course. A lot of politicians have already been in and out of it. A lot of big nonprofit people have been in and out of it. So I'm gonna learn. I don't know much about what it's like behind the scenes in the nonprofit world, and I'm about to freaking learn a lot about it. So I'll let you know, man, what it's like to start one.
I've worked at a couple of nonprofits, and one was in education, and one is in financial services, and I mean, it ended up being all about the numbers because, as a nonprofit, you can make your money off grants. So it was really hitting quotas and hitting numbers on like, make sure we get this much, or make it seem like we got this much so we can.
So you can get that grant money. Get the money. Yeah, it's tough, man. That's tough.
Man. It's pretty tough. But, you gonna be a politician, or you gonna start a nonprofit? How'd you get inspired to get
You've heard it here first, people. I'll be running in 2024. No, man, I part of this sort of COVID restructuring of what I want to do with my life and my time is I've always wanted to reach, which is why I got into the entertainment industry in the first place. I wanted to, in one action, reach a mass audience of people. And so I feel like, the day-to-day ins and outs of singular conversations like this. Obviously there's a camera and a microphone. So let's just say it was just you and I, no camera, microphone. Those are all amazing, but they don't necessarily reach, right? They don't necessarily help other people. And so I've been, now that entertainment's been kind of slow for me, I'm like, well, what can I do that I still feel like I have that reach? And certainly nonprofit or politics, either or whichever route that is, or both, might be an amazing way to go about it. But like I said, I don't really know. I know I have strong opinions. I can be outspoken at times, but I don't know enough to go like, oh, I'd love to be a politician. I know certainly people get bad raps, obviously. But a lot of people are turned off by that, but I like to learn things before I take too much, before I give myself a no.
No doubt. And I think I don't know if you saw this Dave Chappelle special sometime during
Most
COVID.
recent one? Yeah, on Netflix?
The one he talks about Yellow Springs, Ohio. I believe that's what it's called. But it's the town that he grew up in. That's like a small town. And he was just like talking about the importance of the small town vibe and like local politics, if anything, is something people should get involved in. So I could definitely see you being mayor of like a small town, man.
Flagstaff? Yeah, baby.
Hey, who knows? But that's I can never be president. But being mayor of a small town, that I'm not born here, bro. They're gonna say they're gonna look at my birth certificate and be like,
you weren't born here? I didn't know. I actually didn't know that.
That's like the biggest. That's why I gave up on that dream a long time ago.
unless someone before you, like I am president, and then I go, we got to pass this law or amendment that says we are anyone born, no matter what country you're from, you can be president. Although that would be highly, I have a feeling, I would get shut down pretty quickly.
I mean, that would have to be part of the plan, right? The government plan of like, you go in first, and then we got Jan coming up right behind you. So
yeah. It's like Biden and Kamala, baby. Kamala's gonna fit right in, and you'll be my Kamala. Like, hey.
You know. I guess it'd be like the first 100% Filipino. Maybe at that point, you know.
I didn't know you were born here. That's wild.
Yeah, man. I'm an alien, you know. So
that's true. Ooh, scary.
But you were gonna add something?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I got tons of stuff to add, but
I
mean, we got to keep it pushing.
Fit it in. My fourth question for you is, how well do you know yourself? If it's hard to put into words, you could just do a scale from 1 to 10.
No, I think I know myself really well. I want to say, I don't think I'm giving myself enough credit, but it probably started in acting school, where I kind of had to dive into what was going on in my body and mind before I was able to jump into a character's body and mind, if that makes sense. So your first year or so of acting school, it's like you got to unlock and figure out what's going on within yourself, so then you can attach that to a character or whatever. And so I think for me, my journey started there, as far as like I started reading a whole bunch of books on not just sports psychology, but spirituality and psychology and general, science of well-being and science of happiness type stuff, So what are the tools of, like, kind of what I was talking about, I think at the beginning, but what are those tools that or what are the things in me? Why am I reacting this way? Why when I get a call from someone attached to money, let's just say like a manager or an agent, does my heart sink because I feel like feast or famine, right? Well, that's because I have probably a weird attachment to money, where I feel like I don't know when it's ever coming in again, and that scares me, So I started diving into, why am I having these reactions to these things? Could be high, could be low. And yeah, I think from college, I started diving into that. Now, dude, I know myself really freaking well. Lindsay, who you met when we were in San Francisco, was a trained therapist. Now she uses that, but she's diverted away from that in her workplace right now. But anyway, she was telling me about, there's a number of these personality tests that you can take, and one of them is called the Enneagram. And so I took this Enneagram, and it's based off of, it's like science that goes back since like the Egyptians, right? I'm probably making all this up, but feel free, everyone, to look this up. The Enneagram. Anyways, I think it bases people from a number from 1 to 12, and it's not a ranking, 1 being the lowest, 12 being the highest. 1 to 12, all the different numbers represent something differently about someone, and you can have these it's almost like your sign, like your birth sign, Cancer or Scorpio, and then if you're not quite in the middle of the calendar month or whatever. You can have like these edges. So I'm a 7 in the Enneagram, and I have these wings of a 3, and you can take these numbers anyways. It is science-based. It's not like this woo-woo thing I'm talking about. But I took that at the beginning of the pandemic, and she helped me like find out. So you take this, I don't know, let's just say it's 150 questions or 100 questions, and all these, like, all this personality test thing came together, and I knew all these things already about myself, which was cool. I had already kind of dove into these things. And as a 7 in this Enneagram, one of the things is like I'm running from boredom. I'm constantly running from boredom, which is why I'm always traveling or I'm always doing something. I can't just sit. You know, I'm mountain biking, I'm running, I'm trying to come up with a business idea, I'm, you know, reading acting books, I'm doing all these different things because I don't want to be bored. I don't want to just sit around, which probably sounds like a lot of people, but
I feel attacked,
so all this to say, what's that?
I said I feel attacked.
Yeah. Which is just like, Jan.
Yeah, I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah. And wink, wink. So all that to say is like, I just took even a year ago this like intense personality questionnaire that kind of helps show like, why do you make these decisions? And most of it I already knew pretty clearly about myself, you know. So I know myself pretty damn well.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I think it's important that we know ourselves.
Do people answer that question differently? I mean, do some people go, I really don't think I know myself that well?
I've had a couple. I would say most people feel like they know themselves, though. And I think it's also because of the age of the people I'm interviewing. You know, I think the older you are, the more you feel like you know yourself. And then the younger folks that I've interviewed kind of say, you know, lower numbers. I mean, I'm smack dab in the middle, give myself a 5. I think there's always things I'm learning about myself. And I mean, I think that changes throughout your life. You know, I like to say, I know myself the most when I'm at my highest, and then I know myself the least at my lowest. So it kind of fluctuates, right? Like, at least for me. However,
and confidence comes from being 30 too. I mean, in our 30s, right? Like in our 20s, like you said, we would have answered this question completely differently. But now I think we've kind of settled in.
Dude. Yeah, 30s are hitting different for me, and it sounds like for you and most people I've talked to. But basically, we're like, the hard lines of our personalities are starting to get drawn out, and you're like, okay, I know what I want to spend my time on, and I know what I don't want to spend my time on, and really like sticking to that. So it's a great feeling, you know, like it's something that I think
it's positive. Yeah, it's positive.
No doubt. What's one of those hard lines for you? One of the things like, oh, I'm done with doing that. Like, I would say, you know, for some people, it's like, oh, I'm done with the club. I feel like the old man at the club now.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm a hardline guy. I think bro, I just, so now I'm in a town full of like, a lot of athletes come to Flagstaff to train at higher elevation, right?
Oh, wow.
So I'm getting my butt whooped now when I meet friends and stuff to go for runs for bikes and this and that. So I'm almost the opposite, where I'm like, there's no hard line for me. I'm still chasing the youthful side, where I'm like, I want to be when I'm 45, I want to be the most fit 45-year-old in the club. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a shit about age. And so for me, the hard line, there is no hard line. I'd love to give you something though that maybe I felt I'll leave that behind. But
you gave it. I mean, you gave me the other side of the hard line. The whole like.
Yeah, I'm like chasing. I'm fucking chasing shit.
That's a hard line, man. That's like either way, stuff you want to cut out and stuff you want to put into your life more. And no, I feel you about the whole fitness thing, man. You know, I just want to stay ready so I don't have, what's it called? you don't have to get prepared if you stay ready or something like that. You know,
yeah, consistency. Well, I go through that all the time. During COVID, I let myself slide. So I was pre-COVID, I was in the shape of my life. Like I was playing soccer. I was playing soccer in LA 3 times a week. I was working out every day. I was surfing every other day. I was mountain biking every other day. Like everything was piled in, and I was feeling great. COVID hit. I had this excuse to just like, oh, I'm gonna sit back for a little bit. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna eat. Blah blah blah. And now when I'm getting up here, I'm like, boy, I've let all this slip. So now I know, like you said, if you stay consistent, stay in that lane, you can go either way, right? Versus me, where I like pulled over on the side of the street. I'm like, dude, I'm chilling. I'm not working out. I'm not doing this and that. And now I'm having to take all this effort just to get back in the lane, you know? And 30 is a part of that, bro. I can't like, when in my mid 20s, my dad was like, bet you couldn't hike across the Grand Canyon. So I'm like, I bet you you're wrong. So he drops me off, and I in a day hike across the Grand Canyon. I'm doing that same thing tomorrow, and I am, like you talk about anxious. I am so anxious because I'm like, I don't know how my body's going to respond to it. Because 5 years ago, my body was like, no big deal. We could do this 20 times. And I didn't even train for it. Now, I'll probably make it halfway, and my body's going to be like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, you take a nap right now, you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, where's your formula and your banana?
I know what you talking about, man. I've definitely felt that. Like, you know, I get in good shape, and then I relax. I'm like, cool, I'm happy, and then I do that a lot. Like, you know, every 2 years it goes back and forth. And this latest one, man, it's like, fuck, I had to work, you know, twice as hard, or like, you know, even more so just to get the same like results. I'm like, fuck, man, this is crazy. Or
you're sore longer.
Yeah. You got a massage machine?
I mean, I don't want to make it about aging and all this shit, but like, it's fucking the struggles are real. But one thing I wanted to mention about your question, sometimes I'm sitting there, and you and I have a great history of Madden and FIFA and all that stuff. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, maybe I should be reading a book or writing or doing something else while I'm playing FIFA or Madden or whatever. And now that was something where I was trying to hardline myself, and I'm like, fuck that. I love this. This is a great way to just blow some steam off, to hang out. I don't have to think that much. I'm just enjoying, you know, a video game. And so I've come to terms even with stuff like that, where I'm like, nah, I'm not going to hardline myself here. I'm going to enjoy, you know, plus our generation will probably be playing video games our entire life. Whereas like, you know, my parents don't, you know, they don't understand it, or they didn't grow up with it. They don't get it. Whereas video games were for kids at a certain point, you know what I mean? Like, oh, those are for kids.
Video games are for adults now.
They're for us. They're for everyone. Yeah.
You know, I can't wait for the day when we get those treadmills in our houses and we could just wear the bodysuit. And I was just thinking how much of a workout playing Madden or 2K or FIFA is. Just like, yo, man, you playing a whole ass game, like football game, right? And like,
no kidding. Yeah, exactly. And they have someone hitting you too, so you feel a tackle. Or just like this, something this swings by.
Yo, man, that would be a trip if they were able to pull that shit off. Like, the body would move if I got tackled.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be like 60 years old, but try to play. But
I was just imagining us throwing the football like on the street. You know, our Hail Marys will have slowed down a little bit. Our shoulders would be a little more sore. Our throws would get a little less distance on them. Dude. But we'll still be freaking doing it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about your folks, but I know for my folks, it's hard to sometimes bridge that technology gap, because they're just like, oh, you know, it's fine. Like, I don't need to know that stuff, you know? And it's just like, oh, but you're going to ask me to do this for you later on, and I just want you to know now.
Yeah, that's funny.
But, yeah, man, dude, we breezing by through. I think we made it to the spelling bee portion. You want to give it a shot?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. All right, so your word is going to be epilepsy.
Oh my God. There's got to be two P's, but I'm going to go singular P. EPELEPSY.
You're so close. You just got you had one letter wrong. EPI,
epilepsy. Did I miss the I?
Say the whole thing together.
Epilepsy. EPILEPSY.
Oh, you got it, bro.
Did I?
Yeah, dude, you got it.
Although I didn't get it on the first time though, so I feel like you might.
No.
In the National Spelling Bee, I probably would have been disqualified, but I like that you gave me the opportunity to workshop it, work it out a little bit, and we found the ending, so it's all good.
You got two chances. I gotta remember to stay quiet when it comes to that, because like people want, I want to help, but I also gotta keep quiet. But anyways, congratulations, you've qualified for the 34 questions. Well, this is you qualified for the 34 questions spelling bee, which is going to be with other contestants that have gotten their words right. So maybe one day everybody's free. I need to make that a thing.
Yeah, but, good luck with that, by the way. Yeah. That'll be really fun to plan out.
Yeah, it'll be a challenge. But if wherever the road leads, like if it's from now, 2 years from now, I know who won. I can reach out and be like, yo, now it's a big thing, and like, we're going live. We got people watching this shit,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
As long as there's drinking involved, I will be there.
That sounds like another game show for sure.
There you go. Drunk spelling bee. I'll start making words up. Like epilepsy has 6 P's all of a sudden.
Were you ever a Harry Potter fan? Nah.
Loved it, appreciated it. Was not a big. I'm not a big reader, but I definitely watched the movies.
Oh, I was just wondering because there was like this game show where they like tried to do who can say the most spells from Harry Potter, and I'm all like, I didn't know shit, so I was like, what the fuck?
I have friends that do those trivia nights. Mm-hmm. And some trivia nights are not just broad like sports and geography and history and stuff. Some are very specific, like Harry Potter nights. And I've been to a Harry Potter night, and the information, like the questions are so ridiculous that if you did not know the books inside out, and I'm talking books, not just movies, books inside out. I mean, it is the most random knowledge and names and this and that. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Is there a show
Spells.
or a movie like that for you where you just know it in and out?
Probably like the Coneheads.
For real?
That's my favorite movie.
Wow.
I could go in and out, but that's not like Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to think, or Marvel. Nah, I don't know. It's because I didn't read all the books, Yeah. Ace Ventura, though, like talking movies that I watched, like I ran, the VHS. If you watch a VHS, I don't know if you knew this, but if you watch a VHS enough times, it will break down. Ace Ventura was one of those. Coneheads was one of those. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, bro. I could spit game on Rudolph.
That's what's up. All right. I'm gonna have to think about those questions. I'm gonna read the Wikipedia page and have some trivia.
See if I get any of them right.
All right, man. We made it to the main portion. We have about like 10-15 minutes left in the podcast, but let's see how many we can knock out, man. It's been a great conversation regardless. So
I love it.
Go for it. What's your number, man?
12.
What excites you about the future?
What excites me about the future? I think the idea of change excites me about the future. So learning something new. I think I'm gonna run with this. I love to learn. And so I know that, just instinctively, all I do is try to talk to people, much like in this setting, like what you're doing is just, I know I'm going to continue to learn, whether it's, in my own personal life with my partner, or with my friendships, or with whether it's my own happiness internally or externally, whatever that is. I think learn, bro. Learn.
Sure.
In the athletic field, like learning new sports to play. I don't play golf, but I'm now in a community where there's golf. So I'm like, in the future, maybe I'll learn how to play golf. I don't know, so my mind is always on these things of like, just keep on growing, keep on learning.
For sure. Who knows, man? PGA Tour always open, right? There's no
here we go. There's already a Kyle Jones. There's already a Kyle Jones on the PGA Tour, or he goes in and out, because I've had friends screenshot like the ESPN app, and it says like Kyle Jones at the top, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm crushing it today.
That's hella funny, man. And then if you ever register, they think it's the other Kyle Jones. Like, oh,
sure. Or I can't register because there can only be like SAG for acting. I'm the only Kyle Jones. You cannot be there can't be another Kyle Jones.
Whoa, I did not know that's how it worked. That's pretty crazy.
So there are some things like that where like I'd have to like I've always wanted to be Eagle Jones. I don't know why. I'm sure that's the most like redneck name in the whole wide world, but I always thought like Eagle Jones had the cool sound to it. So if there was a Kyle Jones, I was going to go Eagle Jones. There was no Kyle Jones before me, so I could do that. But if I was, and this fits with golf too, because I think Eagle is a type of like hitting 200 par or something in golf. Eagle Jones would be my PGA Tour name, baby.
Dude, I mean,
I just gotta learn how to play golf first.
There you go. The first
no
step.
Big deal.
The first step of 1,000 steps, right?
Yeah, exactly. 1,000,000.
Sure.
Do I pick another?
Yeah, go for it.
13.
Oh, what is your movie title? Like, your life movie. What would you title it?
My movie title would be Gravitates Outwardly.
Gravitates Outwardly.
It sounds like a documentary, actually. I kind of want to come up with something a little more. I want to do like a blockbuster.
Just one word.
Dances with Wolves. That's already one.
Oh, you could do a play on that though. What other animal dances with what?
Yeah, dances with bears. No, what's actually I kind of like that. Dances with Bears. Boom.
The Kyle Jones story. Yeah.
There's a lot to it, because you could like dive into there's a lot going on with Dances with Bears, so I'm good.
Your love of gummy bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Berenstein
My
bears.
love of the LGBTQ AI community, because there's bears in that.
Oh, shit, really? I didn't know.
You haven't heard that? Yeah, people call themselves bears, I think. I
didn't know that was an inclusive term for them. I thought that was like everybody.
Maybe bears is not very inclusive. I don't know. Maybe I'll get myself in trouble now.
But no, I know what you mean, man. Yeah.
And bears in nature in general, because most people are scared of them, whereas I really, I obviously don't look to put myself in a dangerous situation, but I certainly love when I'm in the wild running into wild animals, because that's their home, Dances with Bears, baby. Take it how you want it.
I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. I'm sure that's going to be one of the many options whenever it starts getting rolled out. You'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that.
The reviews would be like Dances with Wolves, only worse.
Yeah, man. I hope not. Or,
yeah. All right, let's do, how many questions? You said 32. 32. Let's go 32.
32. Is there a decision that you're having a hard time with? I have a magic 8-ball. If you want to ask that, it's like, what question would you ask a magic 8-ball?
Ooh, I would ask, my question would be, am I on the right path? But I think that's a little too general, so I want to come up with something more specific.
This is a heavy question because you don't know what this is gonna say, and I'm just like, damn. I hope it's not too.
Yeah,
negative.
it doesn't shoot it. Am I gonna book an acting role in the next 3 months?
All right.
Is that the same Magic 8 Ball you've had since we lived together?
Nah, I think I lost that one. I had to buy this one.
I was gonna say that thing.
Oh, bruh. So it was like right on the edge, right?
Oh no!
And it flipped over to one side. This is one of the cool ones. It just says better not tell you now. So it's like, oh shit, like it's like,
a bit of a tease.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a tease. Why would they put that in the Magic 8 Ball? Like, that's like the antithesis of, okay, we're going to figure this out, right? And then it just goes like, no, this one, we're not going to help you out with this one.
Yeah. It's like, another one is Ask Me Later. It's like, oh, dude. Like,
that's true, yeah. What was it teetering on? What was the other one that was teetering on?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
It's hard for me to tell this, but
it was probably gonna say like you're gonna book a Marvel film next week. I'm sure that's what it said. What's one that no one's asked? Is there a number you've been dying to ask but no one's actually asked it?
So I mean, it needs to get randomized like per. So I never really am able to track it.
Okay. So you don't know, like, because you came up with these questions, right? Or are they questions that you took off of the internet or something?
I would say 90% of them I came up with, and then like I've come across questions that I liked and just threw them on there as well. So,
you don't have one in your back pocket that people haven't asked that you're like, damn, I really want to get to this question, but no one's asked it yet.
I mean, there's this new one, and it's
throw it in there. What's the number? What number?
It was 3.
3, exactly. That's what I was gonna say next. 3. Yeah, do that one.
What's the difference between friends and best friends?
Oh, I love this question, bro. Lindsay is constantly saying like, "Oh, that's my best friend. This is my best friend," and I keep going like, "That is not your best. You have friends. Those are your friends, and then you have a select group of best friends. Not all friends are best friends, but now it seems like it gets thrown around like it's freaking candy." That's my own. Apparently, I got to work that out. I've got some deep thoughts about this whole best friend thing. I think a best friend is someone that you're able to have these kind of conversations with, and you can hold safe space. You know it is going to be a safe conversation. You can say anything, you can talk through anything, you can chop it up, and you know you're safe with that person. I think friends, you're more or less, you've got a good rapport. You can have these activities or this or that conversations, and things are fine, but they're mostly surface level, or they never really evolves to a place where the space you two share together is a safe space. It's a meaningful space, and it's like you and I, bro. We could laugh, cry, yell in the same conversation, and it doesn't change the way you and I feel about each other. That's a best friend. Does that make sense?
No doubt, man. No doubt. Thank you for your answer. There is a follow-up to it, but it was a fleeting question. It can't. And then we're running out of time too, so I will definitely ask you this question off camera.
What do you got? What's the follow-up? I'll keep it short. I'll try to. I'm long-winded, bro. I'm learning. This is what I'm learning about myself in this conversation. It's hard to shut this machine down.
No, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I mean, honestly, it slipped my mind, man. I was like, all right. It popped in, popped out.
Let it go. Wasn't meant to be.
Here we go. So we reached the concluding portion of the interview. I hope you enjoyed, man. We got a few, like 4 more questions to go. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for this opportunity to reconnect, man. It's always great when we can talk and chop it up.
Love it.
So yeah, man, much love. This is a question from my previous guest, that like I'm trying to find a way to connect my guests together. So
Cool.
This question is, if you could do one thing that could change the world, what would it be?
I would remove all plastic from the world.
For sure. That's fucking hard, dude. Like, I know we got an island of plastic out there on the.
It ain't just that, brother. It's now they found it in the atmosphere. Now, I mean, this shit is. I can't tell you how many times we found plastic inside of a whale's gut. It doesn't even have to be ocean based. It's here too. It's one of our biggest problems environmentally.
Is there anything that could be done? Like.
Oh yeah, but there's money in it. I mean, there's money in plastic on both ends, right? It's cheap to make and it holds up for a long time. So people say you don't have to worry about your products or this or that. And the problem is it holds up for a long time. Like it'll be here so here in Flagstaff, I could go for a hike and I could find a native dwelling. I could find a dwelling from a Hopi or Navajo, someone that lived here a couple thousand years ago. Not quite, well, yeah. And you could maybe find some pottery. And that's like epic, right? But that pottery eventually breaks down. So do these dwellings, eventually. Plastic ain't breaking down. So when someone hikes here in San Francisco or LA or here even, in 2, 3, 5,000 years, if humanity's still around by then, they're just gonna find tied plastic, detergent laundry holders or like this and that. I mean, it's terrible. What we're leaving behind when it comes to plastic and how it's affecting our ecosystems and animals directly, bro, easy. I'll eliminate all plastic, baby.
Oh, for sure. That makes me think, man, that saying.
You didn't see that shit coming.
I didn't. But it makes me think about that saying about you want to leave the world a better place than you came into it. And it's disheartening to think that no matter what I do, it's still going to be in kind of a bad place, That is a disheartening part of that.
I think that's something I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I have so much guilt is the wrong word, but I carry a very heavy burden on some of the things that we do to this planet. It's crazy, man, and I don't know that we'll be able to leave it better than it was. And it's not our fault either. It's something that I think has been happening way long before us, and it's what can we do on the community basis? I think kind of like what you're talking about with Dave Chappelle. I think that's where our most important work lies. And can we leave a community better than it was? Yeah, sure. I think so.
No doubt. All right, man. My next question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest?
If you could spend 24 hours away from technology and distraction with someone, who would that person be? You have to spend all 24 hours with them.
You're going to put this person on the spot, but I got you.
Is that kind of a, yeah, exactly. Hey. Also, what if they're in a relationship too or something, like they're married or whatever, and they choose someone else and all of a sudden I started this whole fucking thing?
All because of this question, but it's fair enough, man. It's your question, and it's just a way to connect you to the next guest.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool.
Keep the ball rolling. And my very last question for you, man, is what is the greatest lesson you've learned thus far?
The greatest lesson I have learned thus far is the more I know, the more I don't know. So I think there's probably 1,000 different ways to say it more beautifully than the way I just said it, but I am constantly being surprised about something that maybe I felt like hubris about, maybe something that I felt like I knew a lot about, and it turns out I didn't, or I'm missing the mark, or there's more to learn. And so I really think, man, it's like it's just staying open and learning as I go, and knowing that I don't know shit. And just trying to continually educate myself. I don't know anything about what anyone's going through, what they've been through. And I feel like a lot of times in conversation or with people, even at the supermarket, you're behind someone that's super slow and you're like, what the fuck? I just want to get my freaking avocado and get out of here, you know. But I don't know what that person is going through, and so I always just try to approach everything with an ounce of humility and the idea that, dude, my journey is no more special than anyone else's, you know. And so I just want to continue to learn and listen, and yeah, I think that's been a really valuable lesson for me.
I'm right there with you, brother, man. Sure.
Yeah.
And that's a mark. That's the mark of a wise man, right? Like the person that knows. The person that knows he knows nothing knows everything, or something like that.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. There are 1,000 different ways of saying it that are more eloquent and much more beautiful than what I just tried to say. And the more I know, the more I don't know. Because it's one of the. I think it's one of even the steps of enlightenment to Buddhism too, and stuff. Like there's some deep shit attached to what I was trying to say. I just chopped it up and made it sound like doo-doo.
Hey, you just delivered it from your perspective, and I think we all got the point. We all got the point, right?
From my South Carolina education perspective. 48th state, baby.
Hey, real quick, I heard this crazy good the news about South Carolina and one of their towns where they they put the infrastructure for like free Wi-Fi for everybody or something like that. I don't know if you heard
cool.
about that.
I don't know anything about that, no.
Yeah, and it made me think of you because it was a South Carolina town, and I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if Kyle knows.
Because
about
I love Wi-Fi.
I know how much you love that Wi-Fi so much.
I don't. For viewers watching, I don't give a shit about Wi-Fi, but South Carolina's as just keep it pushing, South Carolina, keep it fucking pushing. I think hopefully soon there's a lot of cool people are now making it to the big stage out of South Carolina, which is cool, because for a while it seemed like a community that was, not going to grow. It was going to stay exactly how it's been for a long time, and that's not a good path to take. So I think for my home state, we're going to start branching out. I think it's going to be good. There's free Wi-Fi everywhere.
You don't have a Gamecocks tattoo yet? So you could just like.
Well, I got my South Carolina, but no, I need a little cock claw on my foot or something. It's like my little Gamecock claw.
Yeah.
Go Cox, baby. Go Cox.
Well, just want to thank you again, Kyle. We reached the end. Thank you to the viewers at home and listeners at work, at home. For all you folks tuning in, appreciate y'all as well. It's still trying to figure out my signature send off, but it goes like this.
And spent a lot of time in the Amazon forest and has now become a shaman. She and I have talked quite a bit because I'm always so fascinated by that form of spirituality. She's been on these journeys where she is asked what the meaning of life is, like just blatantly, what is the meaning of life? And the answer she got was 0 equals 1. That was like the shining thing. And to me, and that means 0 equals 1 is like, because anyone that knows a little bit about math, which I know very little about math, but I know 0 does not equal 1 in math. So 0 equals 1 is like nothing fucking matters. It doesn't, nothing is what you think it is, right? 0 equals 1. I think it's brilliant. And that is somewhere, the reason why I want to get that tattooed is because I want to remind myself every day when I see it, 0 equals 1. Whatever I think is happening may not be happening. Whatever I think that is may not be that. So always stay on your toes because 0 is motherfucking 1.
That's dope, man. You want to get matching tattoos? I'll get the same one somewhere.
Fuck yeah, bro. No, I want the 0 equals 1 should be everywhere. But yeah, that ties in with the question you asked, which was what I think I know I don't know, or whatever. However many ways I can fuck that statement up. But 0 equals 1, baby.
No doubt. I'm with it. I clicked recording too when you started off with the shaman thing.
Nice. So. You could throw it in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's bonus content right there.
Bro, fuck. I can't believe I didn't. It was on the tip of my tongue because I was just talking about this the other day. I was just talking about it, but I couldn't get to it. But it falls in line with that, man.
For sure.